This makeup failed. Hi guys, it is MadameLiterature, and I'm pronouncing my name right. Thanks to that friend who told me. So sorry, it's been a crazy week. Anybody else crazy week? Anybody? Maybe it's just me. Yeah, so as I've been recently thinking about this, I've been thinking in my head, why just wait for one book? Instead we can have two books. So I decided to pick up another book that we can, what's the word I'm looking for? We can read as well as the other books, so that we're not just waiting for it. And yeah, so we're going to get right into that. Here's a mess. It's going to be this book, Jerk, California. In case, I know it turns regular when I upload it, but you never know. Alright. So this book has one chapter that's 2 pages and then a regular sized chapter, I think. So I'm probably going to do like a chapter and a half, I think, and then I'm going to do it normal. Alright. Part 1. Sam. Chapter 1. Sam has it. Question is, how bad? The pediatrician smiled, like he got off on destroying a child's life. Like children frequently went to sleep normal and woke up monsters who couldn't keep their damn bodies still. He stared at me, waiting. My right hand twitched. He pointed and continued, the disease has seasons. One day he'll flail like a windmill in spring. Then the wind will die and you won't see anything for months. He turned to my mom. There are some experimental drugs. Who the hell is supposed to pay for those? My stepdad said. The doctor rose. I can see you need some time, Bill. He shook my 6-year-old hand, gave my stepdad a pat on the back, and slipped out of the examining room, leaving the three of us to stare at my jerking hands and shoulders. What do you say, Mom? Bill? When's it going to go away? Bill stood up and paced in the room. Go away? Your twitches won't ever stop, he cursed, kicking the doctor's swivel chair. I stared at Mom. Never? Not even when I'm older? Mom scooted her chair in front of me. He says you have Tourettes. I mouthed the word, and she leaned forward and stroked my arms, gentle at first, then harder and harder, and mixed with tears. I knew she was trying to rub that bad word out of me. What does that mean? I asked. It means, Bill said, you can forget about ever running my machines. My hand squeezed the jacket Bill gave me, the green one with tarboy on the front and a cement mixer on the back. I pulled free of Mom and grabbed Bill's pant leg. I can stop it. Please, Bill. I started to cry. I'll be still. Promise. Old Bill turned his back. Mom closed her eyes. And even at that 6 years old, I knew I was alone. That's chapter 1. Now we're going to do chapter 2. And we'll just go from however long we can. Alright. Chapter 2. You're quiet in group today. Leslie, the social worker, stares at me. I look around at the others. 8 guys rest their heads on the table. Everyone's quiet, I say. She places her young elbows on the table and rests her young head in her young hands. But you're somewhere else, aren't you, Sam? Brian snores from across the circle, and I point at him, but this woman's eyes won't go away. I glance at the clock. 10 more minutes. I wish I were somewhere else. How many more weeks do I have to come? Dumb question. I know exactly. 10. In old Bill's barn hang 14 sheets of paper covered with smiley-faced suns. 10 of those sheets aren't yet blasted through with the BB gun pellets. Leslie smiles, the smile people use at funerals. One of the ways we build friendships is by answering questions. A good way to do this is through small talk. You respond with something cheery about your day and or your family. Room 14 is a morgue. Powder blue walls and no window. Only the tick of the clock and the buzz and flicker of the fluorescent light remind me I'm still alive. I slump down in my seat and cross my arms. Socially maladaptive. According to the special ed teacher, that's what I am. Sentenced to a semester in Leslie's Sunshine Club. I'm one of the luckiest ones up for a parole at Christmas break. I glance at the lifers. Ken and Carrie, autistic twins. Larry, who slugged a cook. Not sure how cramming in a tiny room for an hour after school will turn any of us into charmers. The word maladaptive, scrawled in invisible ink across my forehead, just stole another hour of my life. Today, I don't have the time. I can see you're defensive, but look around you, Sam. Leslie's eyes plead. These boys are here to be your friends. Another snore from Brian. Let's try a roleplay. I'll pretend I like you. She perks up and clears her throat. Remember, small talk. Answer with something general and light. Her smile widens, so do her eyes. I'd love to hear something about your family. I check the clock, look back at her, and nod. My dad is dead. Don't worry about it, because he was a loser drunk who dug holes for a living. But he was generous, kind enough to leave me this damn disease as my inheritance. Leslie's smile is gone, her face frozen. I push back from the table. He left my mom for some other gal, and then got himself killed. I stand. And his replacement, Old Bill, is almost as bad. Any other questions? I pick up my backpack and walk to the door. Do appreciate the small talk lesson. Brian's snore catches on something ugly, and he wakes with a huh. Before the door closes, a quieter Leslie goes to work on another victim. You're quiet and group today, Brian. I jog to my locker, drop to the ground, and change into running shoes. I push through the front doors of Mitrista High. Outside, air hangs heavy, full of October mist. My lungs suck in the soup. I stand and stretch and jog out of town. It's quiet. Birds, frogs, crickets, thick air smothers them all. The paved road ends and shoes hit gravel. My pace evens, my brain clears. Shouldn't have come down on Leslie, ain't her fault. I jog through bland, population 16, past 3 houses and Krusty's coop, and reach Tiny Pierce. It's only a minute's run from our farm on the near side of town to the Shell station here. 2 cars filling up? Today's 10K must be a bigger race than I thought. Behind me, gravel pops and crackles, and I glance over my shoulder. 3 school buses approach. I drift to the road's edge as they rumble by. A minute later, a string of 20 more overtakes me. I reluctantly fall in line behind them, and we all turn left into the Northwoods Wildlife Refuge. The race won't start for an hour, but already a crowd gathers. I dash through the parking lot and join the onlookers beneath a string of colored pennants. I weave through the people until I reach the rope cordoning off the runner's starting area. The grassy field is littered with athletes from all over Minnesota, and above them stretches a large banner. Northwoods 10K Off-Road Classic. Kids wearing numbers small talk easily. They laugh and stretch and check the sky. I lean against the rope that separates me from them. I glance up too. It will rain. It will rain hard and fast, and the running shoes will stick in the mud. The sloppy path through the woods will make for a slow race. But it will be a race, and I don't have a number, and I'm on the wrong side of the rope. A woman hands me a program with the list of runners. I scan the schools, the names. Over 200 numbers today. I trace the list with my fingers and locate the C's. Sam Carrier would have been number 30. Carrier? I look up. Coach Lovett approaches. Mitrista's new running coach weighs in at over 300 pounds, but for an extra $1,000 a year, I guess the shop teacher will do most anything. From what I hear, you'd win this race. What's holding you back, son? I look over his shoulder at Mitrista's 4 entrants. 2 shove each other, darn near a fistfight. Coach follows my gaze. Lord knows we need ya. He turns back toward me. Mailed you off a sports waiver. You get that signed? I exhale slow and kick at the dirt. Just need one of your folks' signatures, he says, and taps my shin with his shoe. Coach steps nearer and whispers, your stepdad never has to see it. I blink hard and my mouth gapes. Coach smiles. When I took this job from Coach Johnson, I asked him for the name of Mitrista's best runner. Don't you think that runner should be on the running team? He told you about Old Bill, I asked. Told me a lot of things about you. Didn't understand half of them. I stare down at the rope, feel the first drops of rain on the back of my neck, and nod. Farm needs work, and he don't want me doing extras. Besides, keeping a secret from him ain't that easy. Coach steps back. Reckon not, but it's a shame to see all that speed go to waste. Think on it. He turns, takes 1 step back toward the team, and stops. When it rains, that trail will either be grease or quicksand. Bad footing takes a runner down. Sure'd like to know where the slick spots are. He faces me, smiles, and leans forward. I lean in too. How'd you like to give the trail a quick run? We could use a scouting report. He pats my back. Don't need a waiver signed for that. I straighten. I'd be running for the team. My hand clenches, crushes the program, and my shoulder leaps 3 times. Coach takes off his cap, runs his hand through thinning hair. What in the world is that? He asked. Coach Johnson must not have told him. Probably some seconds until he takes back his offer. I lift the rope, duck under, and dart past him toward the trailhead. The sky dims. Moments later, rain falls straight and hard. It lands with giant soaking glops. Glops, in case you didn't hear me. Runners dash for cover beneath the race tent. Spectators race to their cars. I stand and let water bounce off my jerking shoulder, stream off my sniffing nose. I'm in nearly constant motion. Today, like every day, 7 seconds of still is all I get. A megaphone voice fights through the storm. Due to weather conditions, the Northwoods 10K Classic is postponed. Race postponed. Whoops and groans go up from beneath the tent, and numbered kids streak back into the rain, hurdle the rope, and thunder toward waiting buses. I give my head a violent shake. I'm left alone. Minutes pass, maybe more. Soaked cotton suctions onto my skin, but I don't want shelter. I want to feel the chill. I want to feel something. I spin around, watch raindrops dance in the puddles, and think how close it was to running a race. I slosh into the starting area. The clearing is a small lake, and water licks my shoelaces. A number floats by. I scoop it up and put it on, stretch and smile like a numbered kid should. The downpour eases for a few seconds, and I can faintly make out where the course bottlenecks and disappears into the woods. With the tree cover from there on, it'd be a drier run. In the first grouping, Sam Carrier. He holds the fastest time of any senior this year. A splotch of red shifts against the trees. A figure stands near the entrance to the course. I look around. Shadows mill about the tent, but that's all. Hey, I holler. You probably didn't hear. They called it. The kid doesn't move. I walk nearer. You can't run this course in the rain. It washes out. 10 more minutes and they'll cancel it for today. I squint toward the road. Your team's probably waiting for you in the bus. I turn back. The guy in red is gone. I blink hard and splash through the clearing. Late afternoon with skies this dark, kid'll get lost for sure. Hold up! I dart in after him. I can't be more than a few steps ahead. I run my hard, angry run, but 15 minutes pass and I haven't caught anyone. No way he's still in front of me. He probably never started in. A flash of red rounds the next bend. I push harder, but don't gain. Use your head, Carrier! I duck onto a footpath that snakes through dense tree cover. Sticks and brambles crunch beneath my feet, and tree limbs gouge and scratch my arms. I pop out of the woods and rejoin the trail as the kid passes. He screams, startled, and races by me. It's not a boy's scream. Can't be. I grip my teeth and pull alongside her on a straightaway through a field. What are you doing? I huff. I'm running a race. She speaks easily, her breath barely audible. I'm quiet except for the squeak of my waterlogged shoes. I pick up my pace, glance to my left. Our arms bump and we re-enter the woods. You know nobody else is? I say. What? She asks, running a race. She pulls up. I try to stop and turn, but my feet slide on a tree root. Both feet flip up and I land on my gut in a puddle of mud. I groan, push up to my knees, and look up at her. I watch raindrops trickle down her cheeks, see them kiss her lips before continuing their path down her neck. The drops disappear behind the red shirt and shorts that cling tight against her, before they emerge and trail down her legs, drip off her body. Lucky raindrops. Her body is beautiful, and she runs fast, and I can't remember who spoke last. Weren't you racing too? She looks at me, all of me. I wish I were covered with more mud. My opponent cocks her head, gently bites her lip. I look down. The sky is dark. I thought you might get lost. She moves close. I glance up, but I'm still on my knees, and I can't find an appropriate spot to put my gaze. I drop my eyes to her ankles. Even her ankles are pretty. So you ran through the woods to make sure I'd stay on the trail. I nod. She laughs. It's cute. Where do you go to school? Mitrista. Well, Mr. Mitrista, I run for Minnetonka, and I don't need your help, but I am training, and I do need these miles. She whispers, thanks for the push. She reaches out her hand, but when I don't shake it, she brushes soaked hair off my forehead. My eyes close, and when I open them, she's looking at her smeary brown fingers. She smiles and leans forward. Her breath is warm against my ear. You're muddy. She straightens and takes off running. I turn to watch. She stops and looks back over her shoulder. Are you going to make it home? I nod my mud-caked head and point toward the ground. I live here. Again, she smiles. I look down where my finger points at the mud puddle. I live here? What kind of stupid line is that? And get up off your knees, Carrier. I grab a nearby limb and haul myself to my feet. I meant that I live near here. She's gone. I glance around. My muscles don't jerk, and I close my eyes. I breathe deep, and like the third runner who finally catches up, the disease overtakes me. Slowly at first, a hard-eyed blink, but that's not enough. There's more that has to work its way out, and my teeth grind. Movement spreads to my shoulder, and soon my whole body springs to twitchy life. Good thing she ran off when she did. I run through our imagined conversation start to finish. Hi, my name's Sam. What school do you run for? What's your name? Do you like money guys who talk to you from their knees? I exhale long and hard. Shouldn't have bolted out of that small talk lesson. I stare one last time down the path where the most beautiful girl in the world had run. Then I take off my number, turn, and trudge back the way I came. That's chapter 2. I didn't think it would finish that soon, that's for sure. But, yeah. I hope you guys like this book. I bought it, and then I was like, I don't know if I like this book. But then as I read it beginning to end, I thought, I love this book. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have different scenery. There's a spider, and like a little girl, I freaked, and I'm hiding out here. It's probably growing eggs, and little babies are going to be crawling around in my room. You never know, I'm just a little sissy. So thank you guys for watching. This has been Madame Literature. And yes, I know I just pronounced it wrong, according to my friend, but I like how that sounds better. Okay. Bye. Mwah. Love you guys. Love you.